Thursday, May 30th, 2024. Call this meeting to order and ask if you would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, old business, consideration of the minutes. Having read the minutes, do we entertain a motion? Anybody?
I'm going to abstain as I missed half of the week being out of town. So.
I'll motion to approve the minutes from May 20th, 2024 through May 24th, 2024.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So that item is taken care of, and good job on the notes, Sydney. Appreciate that. Next item would be new business consent agenda. We have no beer, wine, or liquor licenses. Any issues or questions with Shoshone County payables?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We have no cancellations, homeowners cancellations. Weed spraying agreement. We have this agreement before us, which, Commissioner, can you give us any background?
It's for Micah Glassman, who was our contracted person last year, and it's exactly the same contract as previous. He's certified and does a very good job.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Can speak highly of him too. So.
Yeah, I would also agree with that. We do have, we're right now looking for a weeds person, but this guy is certified, so we can just go ahead and go on with spraying weeds without any problem.
Okay. All right. Anything else you wanted to add? Okay. Next item, Resolution 2024-20, authorizing transfer of funds from ILAD's Treasurer's account for expenses occurred between April 1st, April 30th of 2024. This is for the ILAD grant, same thing we've done in the past. Any comments or questions on that?
No.
Okay. The next item, Ambulance Service District Board Member Approval. I think we needed to table that item, right?
Yes, it's got to be noticed.
We haven't noticed the position, so we'll just need to table that while we do the noticing.
And Sydney's got it noticed, so
Okay.
we'll let time run.
So next week, would we do that then?
Yeah.
Okay. If you'd make sure we put it on the agenda for next week. Okay. All right. So, would entertain a motion to table the Ambulance District Board Member approval for 1 week.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So the rest of the consent agenda, as it stands, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that is done. We move to public comment. We don't have an executive session today, so if you need an extra minute, today is your day.
I might.
Okay, go ahead and.
So I want to bring this up because this is so hit and miss anymore that you never know when you're going to get public comment. I'll quote it out of the paper from March 14th from Mr. Dose. One of the more noticeable ways is done that is to include a public comment period in almost every meeting. Ms. Cassidy also agreed with it. Also, handing out the paperwork that was in front of you guys, which was a big deal. Mr. Dose says we're striving to ensure things like handouts and worksheets are made public. I haven't had it. After the meeting, I asked for it. You can't follow a meeting if you don't have the papers in front of you. This has gone away a long time ago. I don't know if it's sloppy that you guys just don't care if only one person's here. I don't know. Yesterday, no public comment, 2 meetings I went to. Also, Budget workshops, no comments. Mr. Dose told me after the workshop 2 weeks ago, there was no public comment about the budget workshops. I went back and watched the February 29th meeting on workshops, and it was given that Mr. Zimmerman and Ms. Cassidy wanted to do comment period afterwards. Mr. Allen recommended that you did it during by just raising your hand so you can have input on something that you guys were talking about at the time. No place did it ever say no public comment. Even the old board did public comment during budget hearings or budget workshops. That's wrong to cutting this out. Also yesterday, I would imagine, don't know for a fact, that you guys were in public or executive session for talking about public conflict of interest with the prosecuting attorney, and also he's Silver Valley Law as the prosecutor, as the attorney for the city of Wallace. I believe there's a real conflict in the prosecutor even representing us on this, because you've seen it before in cases where a bunch of people are named. One party is going to say, well, we didn't have all this to do with it. This other party did, would like to get excused from the suit. What interest would he have on sending it back to Wallace instead of the county? Because he represents the city. Also, while I'm on it, a while ago, Commerce Drive came up on annexation into Smelterville, which is Maverick property. I watched a videotape of the meeting. I realized that Silver Valley Law was the attorney for Smelterville and also our prosecuting attorney, direct conflict. Also, there's a 30-day out clause on the written the office space to the prosecuting attorney or Silver Valley Law. You guys have never voted on it to allow it. I'd like to see you either vote on it or exercise the 30-day out period. They're only paying $1,000 a month, and everybody up there is listed interns on Silver Valley Law. It's not 3 offices. It hasn't gone up in years, the price. And part of that $1,000 is also the piece of the pie that we get for allowing the prosecuting attorney to prosecute for the cities. And just another point on the budget workshops. I listened to the meeting from when the wage freeze. That's 100% was a budget workshop, and you allowed all kinds of people to talk at that one. But I couldn't talk at the last one. I think that's bull. Also, I know there's been talk about people looking for more revenues. If you guys if they're coming to you with advice, that's a subcommittee. It needs to be posted when they're meeting and who's on the board.
I'm sorry, who's on the board?
If you have asked people to look for more revenues to come back and advise you guys, makes it a subcommittee. And the last thing, what I wanted to say at the budget workshop is everybody in that room knew in August of last year where we were at. Everybody did. What's a big surprise now? I don't understand that. We knew we were in the hole, but I got to put it out too. No meetings were ever held on how we're going to do this. From August on, how we're going to save money. Everybody sat on their hands thinking the tooth fairy was going to come put money into the budget. Now the only way I see, you're going to use lettuce funding and waste more buying capital equipment for the county. That's all I have at this time.
Okay, does anybody care to respond to any of the questions or allegations or complaints? I'm going to go back and check the record on the budget workshops. We are going to have a budget workshop for the purpose of exploring income, a public budget workshop next week. Would you like to be invited to that meeting to speak?
I cannot make that meeting. I'll be out of town.
Oh, all of next week. Okay.
All of next
Well, we're going to try and do that on a regular basis throughout the next couple of months. So I'll keep you posted if that's something that you would like to speak at.
So you're saying you have to request to speak at a budget workshop?
I believe we had a meeting, and I could be wrong. did we not have a meeting a while back where we decided we were going to start to have workshops, and it was in general workshops, and that we weren't going to allow public comment at workshops?
Can I,
That's what hang on, just a sec.
I remember the meeting, but I remember with Ben, and then he decided against it, I think, is what we had Ben in here talking about it.
That we shouldn't have public input at workshops?
I would have to look at the minutes, honestly.
Yeah,
Okay, go
February 29th, I'll save you some time. I watched it last night.
What was what did you get out of it?
What was said was Jeff and Tracy wanted to do it at the end of the meeting. Ben brought it up to do it during the meeting by just raising your hand. That way you're done 5 steps ahead and somebody wants to make a comment at the end of the meeting about a step that was done 5 steps ago. That's where it was left off. There was never any discussion about no comments.
Okay, so I may have a misunderstanding on that.
Unless it's been back there, you guys did it. It wasn't done there.
Well, it is, as chair, it is my prerogative to decide that. I was under the impression from the last time you and I talked that you didn't like how we were doing it before that, but I may have misquoted you on this one. So,
Budget workshops we're talking about, you were talking about the consent agenda having 2 public comments.
no, I mean since then, but I see your point. Okay, let me look into it. Okay, do we have anything further?
No.
Okay, then we don't have any reason for executive session today, so with that we are adjourned.